pillars on which education stands, and we are honored to be trusted to share our experience in this. In closing,
thank you very much, Catherine. I think that was wonderful. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I also want to check.
If I stand here, I think then I can see how you guys are reacting.
Yeah.
I can know when you are saying when you need to stop. Secretary, Chief Guest, the Vice Chancellor, our partners from SDEV, the Deans of Education, staff, from my heart. That of course is also dangerous because I could speak for too long. But I will try and make it short. They said something that resonates with me quite a bit. And it resonates with me because it also
English. So I am the local representative and project manager for capacity building here in Kenya. And
session. Remember, we are here to sign the partnership agreement. That is really, yes. So I think that's why we are having a lot of people to exchange here and there, listening to different voices, listening. When you hear them talk, you can actually hear. Because one of the things that never disappears is the art of teaching. Actually, you must really look forward to an opportunity to interact with you. And that also applies to the CEO.
Yes.
So that I sit where we used to tell teachers that you must always have visual contact with your audience. Discourage people from talking to the chalkboard. Those who are the daily. Ladies and gentlemen, is to give a chance to those of us who are not slotted in the program to say one or two things, so that when we leave here, the opportunity is yours. But if I don't notice you, then you can be sure that somebody else who spoke on your behalf. Because Dr. Obieri, you are wondering how they have moved that fast. And for me, I think it's a question of that. Everybody was certainly becoming an expert in education in this country. But then the real experts were kind of catching up. And I think the feeling at that time.
Bye.
the date is 22nd.
We are going to request them to stand up and exchange the MOU. We'll put the chair out now.
Don't sit after that.
So
The rules are very confirming.
We can have witnesses.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Dr. Siyaka, please join this team. Join this team. Join this team.
Yes, yeah, that's a good place.
Thank you.
Slightly different bidding, and the earrings also, so that I'm not sure whether yours is Africa or it is a tiger. Yes, so you have what animal is that? Is this better in these things? And so thank you very much. I will ask that we rise up for a brief word of prayer in preparation for our lunch. I'm not sure that there is any other photo session or we are done. We have a photo.
My name is Professor Daniel Mugendi, Vice Chancellor, University of Embu. Today was a very great day for us here at the University of Embu because we have signed a partnership agreement with a team from Estonia Development Center, who are going to be assisting us in developing teacher education program to ensure that we comply with the curriculum-based competence education, CBE. That's what we are calling it. And therefore, we are here and we are doing this not on behalf of University of Embu only, but actually all the universities in Kenya that teach education. And therefore, for us, this is something that is very momentous in that the government of Estonia, through a partnership or a MOU that was signed between our government and their government, is now coming in to help us in that area. Of course, they are also very good in matters digitalization and entrepreneurship. But for us, we are starting with education because that is really the entry point for the universities. And this morning, we have witnessed the signing of that partnership agreement, and therefore, we are moving forward. The team is here with us from the Estonian Development Center.
My name is Catherine Winter. I'm the regional head for Africa at the Estonian Center for International Development, and we are a government organization from Estonia implementing development cooperation projects in Africa. So the purpose of this agreement with the University of Embu is to work together on building teacher professionalism in Kenya and to equip the teachers with the know-how and competencies, including digital competencies, to be able to better deliver the CBC curriculum. So what we are doing is really we are sharing experience from Estonia, from our recent history and how we have built up the teacher profession as a whole and how we have used teacher professionalism to strengthen our education system as a whole. And here in Kenya, we will use our academic partners. We are here with Tallinn University to bring this experience and expertise here. And it will be, as I said, a process of co-creation. We are not here to dictate or tell you what to do, what is right or wrong, but we are really here to co-create and see how our experience, our very recent experience of reform, will fit into the local context and what we can do together for Kenya and who knows, maybe we'll go beyond Kenya.
Okay, my name is Mike Kuria. I'm the CEO for the Commission for University Education. The reason why we are very supportive of this particular initiative is, as you know, there has been reforms in higher education, actually in education in Kenya, and the move from the old system into the competence-based education. A lot of activities have taken in all levels, but now we also need to be aware that students are going to transition to the university. And when they come to the university, they are going to be different kinds of students. So we need to be ready for them. And it is appropriate that we start with teacher education because already there are teachers who are getting out of the higher education system and they are going to teach in those CBC classrooms. And they need to be prepared for that. So I think it is really good that we are starting to focus on the teacher education so that we can prepare teachers who are able to fit in the CBC environment. But also this could also provide us a template so that teachers who are teaching in the university will also be prepared, because when the students come from the CBC system into the university system, there will be different kind of students from the one that they are getting. And it doesn't matter what subject they're going to be taking, whether they're in medicine or agriculture or wherever that may be. So we'll need also to think about both the reform of that curriculum, but also the teaching and assessment of those students. So I think this project, if it succeeds well, and I'm sure it will, it can be very useful in terms of preparing us so that in 2029 we are not caught in the same kind of problems that we were caught in lower levels. So this is part of that preparation, and the Commission is happy to support that this process. It's in tandem with what we are doing to make sure that universities are prepared for CBC students.
My name is Dr. Siriaka Gitonga. I chair the Education Deans Forum. Education Deans Forum draws its membership from all universities in Kenya that offer teacher education, both public and private. And I'm very proud because this is the first time we have a joint venture, whether you are in public or private. And so we have been journeying in responding to teacher education from 2019 when we began this forum to deliberate and respond to the reforms. And I think what I can promise the country is that we are going to have, with our partners, we're going to have a Bachelor of Education program that is benchmarked with the best practices that are available, that have chosen to support us, and that's why I thank ISDEF for agreeing to journey with us in this process. And I can assure the Kenyan students or children who are interested in teacher education, we are assuring you a very good experience in being trained to become a teacher in preparation for the CBC students in the university and even the teaching in the basic education. And we have no doubt that with the support we have from our vice chancellors of the University that offer teacher education, led by our VC at the University of Embu, with the support of Commission for University Education, which has led us in developing very specific guidelines for teacher education, with the Ministry of Education that is, has always pushed us through the various agencies to respond, to produce a quality teacher, and then our partners that have come from a level of expertise or a space where we want to be. We can only assure you that teacher education will never be the same. And so I'm looking forward for a great experience, and I welcome all of us to continue trusting the teacher in this country and giving us a space to be able to speak matters teacher education, who we are and what we want to be as we journey in being developed. And so thank you very much, and may God take us there.
Secretary, State Department for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Kinyangala, during the ESP, the partnership signing ceremony we are going to witness today between the two institutions, marks an important milestone in our journey of transforming our higher education landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to acknowledge the University of Embu and ESTAT Development for spearheading this wonderful initiative, which will enable us to enhance capacity in teacher education agenda and align it with the competency-based education that we are currently implementing. The memorandum of agreement between the two institutions is anchored on the Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed in 2022 between the Ministry of Education, Kenya, and the Ministry of Education and Research of Estonia. Ladies and gentlemen, let me highlight some of the cooperation areas envisaged in the MOU signed by the Ministry of Education today that are relevant to us. The two countries, one, will exchange information between education professionals and other experts, both in the public and private sector, and other stakeholders, to share new knowledge, skills, and technologies on digital education approaches, circular economy, and design. Two, the two countries will engage in capacity building and training of educators. Ladies and gentlemen, the MOU being signed between the University of Embu and our partners, it is aimed at strengthening university pre-service teacher education programs for sustainable implementation of competency-based curriculum in Kenya. The goal of this partnership will be to understand joint interventions to improve education outcomes at all phases of our curriculum development and implementation. Indeed, this partnership comes at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, more specifically, I commend the education sector, the education deans forum for their efforts to fulfill the education reform recommendations, which expects all the schools and faculties of education to develop a comprehensive retooling program for teaching staff in preparation for the university competency-based teacher education. Ladies and gentlemen, further, the partnership will seek in a broad way to co-deliver teacher education reform by identifying evidence-based teacher education, policies, standards, and frameworks that suit the Kenya teacher education context, and scaling up the competency-based teacher education framework for adoption, rolling out, and harmonizing it in our universities. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that through this partnership, the current teacher education programs will be aligned to the competency-based teacher education before the end of the 2023-2024 academic year. And the framework for retooling all teacher education in universities will be developed. I'm almost finishing. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to specifically thank the University of Embu Vice Chancellor, Professor Mugendi, for providing the Education Deans Forum a platform to engage in the last 5 years to spearhead the conversation on teacher education reforms. You saw the deans, clap for the deans, the other side. Your leadership has created a clear pathway for reforming all other university programs in line with the recently developed Presidential Working Party before 2029. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Estonian Center for International Development, led by Mrs. Catherine Winter, African Regional Manager, and Mrs. Christel Rilo, Curriculum and Policy Expert, and Professor Catherine Rue, Teacher Education Expert, Tallinn University, for committing through this partnership to provide technical expertise in this project. I'm finishing now. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I call upon all the education deans in the country to embrace this project very seriously so that we can deliver quality teacher education for sustainable implementation of CBC in Kenya.